7 signs of a low-value woman, and how a high-value man reacts. Stoicism, Old Stoic wisdom. True love is not about finding the perfect person. It is about seeing an imperfect person perfectly. Sam Keen. Hello, gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a crucial topic every man must understand: how to recognize the signs of a low-value woman and why it's vital to shield yourself from the wrong relationships. Not every woman deserves your time, energy, or commitment. Some women uplift your life, bringing peace, support, and growth. Others, however, can drain you emotionally, mentally, and even financially, leaving you questioning your decisions and searching for stability. The trick is, the most dangerous ones often don't show their true colours right away. They may come across as charming, fun, or even caring in the beginning, only for their real nature to reveal itself over time. A low-value woman isn't just someone who doesn't align with your values. She can derail your life entirely. She stirs up unnecessary drama, manipulates emotions, and traps you in cycles of confusion and frustration. But here's the good news. If you know what to look for, you can avoid the storm before it hits. In today's video, we'll uncover 6 clear signs that signal a woman is not worth investing in. By recognizing these traits, you'll be better equipped to navigate relationships with clarity and confidence. Protecting your peace and emotional well-being is the key to creating relationships that truly support your growth. Stay with me until the end, because these insights could save you years of unnecessary stress. Let's get into it. Sign 1. She thrives on drama and chaos. Some women are unable to thrive in the calm, their lives constantly craving the chaos of emotional turmoil. In the absence of conflict, they feel uneasy, even unsettled. A stable relationship doesn't feel safe to them. It feels suffocating. When the waters are still, they stir the pot, seeking out drama for the rush it provides. What should be small, temporary disagreements turn into full-blown arguments. The issue at hand often holds little importance. It's the emotional highs and lows that matter most to her. She craves the intensity that comes with tension, the eruption of conflict, and the release she feels when things are temporarily resolved. This isn't an accident, it's her pattern. She manufactures chaos because, without it, she feels empty, devoid of emotion. You'll see the signs early on. She'll twist your words, causing you to question things you never said. She'll accuse you of intentions you never had, painting you as the villain when you have no idea what's going wrong. 1 minute she'll be affectionate, showering you with warmth, and the next she'll pull away, emotionally cold and distant. When you ask what's wrong, the answer is a simple, "If you don't know, I won't tell you." This isn't a cry for help or a desire for emotional resolution. It's a power move. Withholding affection is not because she's hurt, it's because she wants to see if you'll chase after her. The emotional roller coaster she subjects you to keeps you constantly guessing, always uncertain of your place in her world. It's exhausting, yet you'll find yourself trying to appease her, searching for the right words or actions that will finally bring the stability you crave. But here's the truth. That balance doesn't exist. A woman who thrives on chaos isn't looking for peace. She's looking for a reaction. The more you try to fix things, the more you play into her hands. The more you attempt to reason with her, the more entangled you become in her emotional web. Nice guys and stable relationships bore her. Predictability feels like a prison. As soon as she feels secure, she instinctively starts unraveling it, searching for that next high, that next emotional upheaval. And it's in this game of emotional manipulation that a low-value woman traps her partners. On the other hand, a high-value woman doesn't play these games. She doesn't use conflict as a means of testing affection or love. She doesn't feel the need for constant emotional drama to feel alive. Stability, to her, isn't stagnation. It's the foundation of a healthy relationship. She seeks communication, not confusion. She doesn't make you jump through hoops or prove yourself worthy of her affection. Instead, she shows up with emotional maturity, treating her relationship as something sacred, not a battleground. So how does a high-value man react to a woman who thrives on chaos? The answer is simple. He leaves. He doesn't engage in her drama. He understands that peace isn't something to fight for. It's something to choose. When you stop playing her game and remove yourself from the cycle of chaos, you take away her power. In doing so, you empower yourself. She will either panic and chase after you, or she will retreat, blaming you for everything that went wrong. But either way, you've won. You've reclaimed your peace, your self-respect, and your emotional energy. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. In the same way, emotional wealth comes not from constantly seeking approval or indulging in chaos, but from being selective about who you allow to influence your peace. You are the master of your own emotional state, and anyone who disturbs that balance is not worthy of your attention. A high-value man knows this truth, and by embodying it, leads by example. He doesn't allow a chaotic woman to drag him into her emotional whirlpool. Instead, he maintains his composure and walks away, knowing that peace and emotional stability are far more valuable than any temporary drama. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Share your opinions in the comments below, and let me know how you deal with emotional turbulence in relationships. Don't forget to subscribe for more wisdom. Comment to remember, I am a high-value man. Sign 2. She's addicted to validation. A woman addicted to validation is someone who thrives on external attention, never truly satisfied with the love and devotion you offer. No matter how much you give, it's never enough to fill the void she feels. She doesn't yearn for a genuine, deep connection with you. Instead, she craves the spotlight, the constant admiration of others. Every word of praise, every moment of affection you offer is quickly consumed, like fuel burned in a fire that never ceases to burn. It's not your love that she seeks, but rather an audience to admire her, a stream of admiration that constantly fuels her sense of worth. She lives for external validation, and this need extends far beyond the walls of your relationship. Social media becomes her stage, her playground, where she curates an image designed to provoke responses from a vast, faceless audience. Every post, every perfectly chosen filter, every carefully crafted caption is a deliberate attempt to elicit reactions, comments, likes, and private messages from strangers, all feeding her ego and sense of relevance. At first glance, she may claim that she's simply sharing her life or expressing herself, but the truth is undeniable. The deeper purpose is to be seen, admired, and desired by anyone who takes notice. When you confront her about this behavior, she will often dismiss your concerns, accusing you of being insecure or overly jealous. It's just a picture, she might say, as if the intent behind it is invisible to you. I can't control how people react, she will insist, even as she carefully designs her social media presence to provoke exactly the kind of responses she craves. She will downplay the impact it has on your relationship, suggesting that you should be confident enough not to care. But confidence isn't the problem here. Respect is. In any relationship, mutual respect is key. A woman who values true connection will never use attention from strangers as a substitute for the respect and loyalty she should offer to the man she loves. The difference between a woman who craves validation and one who values authenticity in a relationship is stark. A woman who genuinely cares about her relationship will not treat attention from the crowd as a currency, nor will she prioritize the admiration of strangers over the deep bond with the one she claims to love. Her love is not for sale, nor is it measured by how many likes her posts receive. The admiration of the world becomes irrelevant when it's clear that the real respect comes from the partner who stands by her side, not the anonymous masses who may never know her true self. If a woman is truly addicted to validation, no amount of love or attention from one person will ever satisfy her. The fleeting approval of strangers, gathered through carefully curated social media posts, will always hold more value in her eyes than the deep, personal connection you share. If you choose to stay, hoping that one day she will change, you are setting yourself up for a battle you will never win. The addiction is too powerful, and the craving for external validation will always outweigh the genuine connection that could exist between you. In the end, her need for validation will drain you, and no matter how much you give, it will never be enough. Just as a fire consumes everything in its path without ever being truly quenched, her need for external validation will continue to burn, leaving nothing behind but ashes. Sign 3. She has zero accountability. In life, accountability is everything. Without it, we become prisoners of our own circumstances, and the truth is, there's no room for growth. This brings us to one crucial sign of a low-value woman. She has zero accountability. She sees herself as a perpetual victim. Every setback in her life, every failure, every obstacle is someone else's fault. If she loses her job, it's because her boss didn't appreciate her. If her relationships fall apart, it's always because her exes were toxic or abusive. If her finances are in ruins, it's never because of her reckless spending. It's the economy, society, the system. She refuses to see her role in the chaos and drama around her. When this mindset enters a relationship, the damage is inevitable. If she cheats, it's not because of her selfish actions or lack of restraint, but because you weren't paying enough attention. If she disrespects you, it's not because she lacks self-discipline, it's because you made her angry. She never acknowledges her part in anything. And over time, you'll start to feel like the guilty one, questioning whether you are the problem. Were you too distant? Could you have done something differently? Maybe, just maybe, you're at fault. A woman who refuses to take accountability will turn you into her emotional scapegoat. You will become the keeper of her guilt, her stress, and her problems. No matter how much you try to reason with her, offer guidance, or help her see things from a different perspective, nothing will change. She doesn't want solutions. She doesn't want to change. She wants someone to carry the blame for her, to bear the burden of her mistakes. This is a dangerous, toxic cycle. A high-value woman, on the other hand, doesn't make excuses. She acknowledges her mistakes, learns from them, and grows. She takes full responsibility for her actions and their consequences. A low-value woman, however, deflects blame, spins endless excuses, and repeats destructive patterns. There's no growth, no learning, just a never-ending cycle of blame-shifting and stagnation. As a high-value man, you understand that accountability is power. You refuse to play the victim game. You know that to evolve, to become better, you must own your mistakes and learn from them. But if a woman can't do the same, if she refuses to see her role in the problems around her, you will be dragged down into her chaos. You'll start carrying her baggage, her emotional burden, until one day you'll look around and realize that you're no longer the man you once were. Your growth will stall. Your peace will be shattered. The only real solution is to walk away. Yes, walking away might seem hard, but staying will only cost you more. Her refusal to take responsibility will make her problems your own. And in the end, you'll lose yourself. Walk away before it's too late. A true high-value man knows when to cut ties to preserve his peace, his growth, and his future. A low-value woman will keep you stuck, but a high-value woman will walk beside you, encouraging you to be the best version of yourself. As the Stoics say, the greater the difficulty, the more glory in surmounting it. Skillful pilots gain their reputation from storms and tempests. So remember, your journey towards growth and success starts with you taking full responsibility for your life. Don't let anyone drag you into their cycle of excuses. Be strong, be wise, be accountable. Comment to remember. Accountability fuels growth and peace. Sign 4. She uses emotional manipulation to control you. In relationships, subtle manipulation can sometimes be harder to recognize than outright conflict. And that's why it's essential to understand when a woman uses emotional manipulation to control you. A woman who employs these tactics doesn't need to argue or make direct demands. Instead, she operates behind the scenes, quietly steering your thoughts and actions through guilt, silence, and passive aggression. These methods may seem inconsequential at first. Maybe she gives you a brief sulk when you make plans without her, or casually says, "It's fine, do whatever you want," even though it's clear she doesn't mean it. A silent treatment over something small might leave you guessing about what went wrong, turning you into a detective in your own relationship. What may initially seem like harmless behavior can quickly evolve into something more insidious. The more you adapt to keep the peace, the more control she gains over your actions. Gradually, you begin to prioritize her emotions over your own well-being. You find yourself second-guessing decisions, wondering how she will react before taking any step, and avoiding certain topics because you know they will set off passive-aggressive responses. Over time, you may even stop making plans without her, not because she explicitly forbids it, but because you've learned that the emotional cost of her disapproval is too high to bear. It's not an open battle you're fighting. It's a quiet, slow erosion of your autonomy. By the time you recognize what's happening, you might be deeply entangled in a web of emotional control. This scenario mirrors the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, who warned, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." A high-value man doesn't succumb to these emotional games, but instead remains calm, detached, and focused on his own growth and well-being. Like the Stoics of old, he recognizes the importance of emotional independence and resilience. The high-value man doesn't allow others to dictate his peace. He reacts with grace, maintaining his integrity and avoiding the trap of emotional manipulation. If you've ever found yourself in a situation like this, it's time to break free from the cycle. Stand firm in your values, recognize the subtle signs of manipulation, and take control of your emotional state before it takes control of you. Remember, your emotional independence is your strength. Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. I'd love to hear how you've handled similar situations in your life. Sign 5. She has no long-term vision. A woman without a long-term vision is relatively easy to spot if you pay attention to the way she navigates life. She lives in the moment, prioritizing impulsive desires over thoughtful planning, seeking fleeting pleasures that ultimately lead to instability. While she might express a desire for security, her actions reveal the opposite. She avoids taking responsibility and makes little effort to create the stability she claims to want. Her decisions, whether financial, relational, or personal, are often made on a whim, focusing on short-term satisfaction rather than building a solid foundation for the future. This type of woman is constantly chasing immediate excitement, indulging in reckless spending, and failing to consider the consequences of her actions. She justifies her behavior by saying things like, "I deserve it," or "I'll figure it out later," all while living in the present without thinking about how today's choices will affect tomorrow. Take, for example, her approach to money. She never budgets but continues to shop impulsively, always looking for the next thrill or acquisition to fill the void. Her lifestyle reflects a lack of discipline, an absence of long-term planning, and a deep aversion to hard work or consistency. In her relationships, she expects you to be the anchor, the steady foundation in her chaotic world, yet she offers little stability or commitment in return. This is where the Stoic approach becomes invaluable. The Stoic man understands that a life built on fleeting pleasures is a fragile one. Instead of chasing after short-term satisfaction, he focuses on cultivating virtue, discipline, and resilience. He knows that true security comes from within, not from depending on others to fill the void or rescue him from his own irresponsibility. Her career path is another telltale sign. It's marked by constant changes, jumping from one job to another, never staying long enough to build anything meaningful. She's driven by excitement, not fulfillment or purpose. When faced with setbacks or obstacles, she avoids taking responsibility, instead blaming external factors like bad luck, other people, or circumstances beyond her control. In this way, she fails to learn from her mistakes, choosing instead to blame others for her lack of progress. When financial difficulties arise, she looks to you for rescue, rather than considering her own role in creating and solving her problems. If she faces challenges, her first instinct is to seek external solutions, rather than making the necessary internal adjustments. This kind of mindset doesn't lead to growth. Instead, it fosters a cycle of dependence and stagnation. A high-value man, guided by Stoic wisdom, remains unshaken by such instability. He doesn't expect external solutions, but takes ownership of his life, making calculated decisions to secure his future while offering guidance to those who are willing to build their vision not just dream it. You're ahead of most. The Stoic man builds for the future, not just the moment. Comment below. I choose discipline over fleeting pleasure. Sign 6. She doesn't respect masculinity. A woman who does not respect masculinity sees it as a threat, not a pillar of strength, leadership, or stability. For her, every decision you make is not an opportunity for mutual growth, but something to challenge. Every attempt to lead is viewed with suspicion, every effort to provide structure dismissed as controlling. She doesn't argue to understand, she argues to win. Each word she speaks serves not to connect, but to assert her dominance, making it clear that she believes she doesn't need a man to guide or support her. I don't need a man to do anything for me, becomes her daily mantra, a shield she holds out in the face of any attempt to show her strength and wisdom. She cloaks her independence like armor, using it as a weapon, not a virtue. When you step into the role of leadership, she calls it controlling. When you set boundaries, she labels it toxic. Her mindset isn't rooted in partnership, but in constant resistance, shaped by past experiences, societal conditioning, or deep-seated traumas. These influences have led her to view masculinity not as complementary, but as oppressive. This dynamic, however, isn't about whether you lead or not. It's about how you respond. As a high-value man, you must stand firm in your purpose and wisdom, remaining unshaken by her resistance. You know your worth and the strength of your masculinity. A high-value man doesn't need to prove his value. His presence alone commands respect. The strong man is not the one who overpowers others, but the one who overcomes himself. As Marcus Aurelius wisely put it, when you face such resistance, the high-value man does not crumble. He leads with calm, with clarity, and with respect. You see, real leadership isn't about dominating, it's about guiding with patience and integrity, knowing that some will resist, but that resistance doesn't change your course. Embrace the Stoic wisdom that a man's strength isn't in the battles he wins, but in the composure he keeps in the face of challenges. Stand tall, keep your boundaries intact, and let the world know you lead not out of necessity, but because it is your nature. If you're ready to embrace this mindset, like, comment, and subscribe. Share your thoughts below. What does true leadership mean to you? Sign 7. She lacks emotional stability. A woman who lacks emotional stability can create an environment where unpredictability reigns, leaving those around her walking on eggshells. One moment, she may shower you with affection, warmth, and love. The next, she could turn distant, cold, or even hostile for reasons that seem unclear, making it nearly impossible to understand what's going on. Such erratic behavior can become draining and frustrating, especially for a high-value man who values emotional consistency and stability. The cycle of mood swings, sometimes affectionate, other times withdrawing or erupting in anger, leaves the high-value man in a constant state of uncertainty. He may find himself constantly seeking ways to avoid triggering her, constantly questioning if he's done something wrong, even when nothing has changed. This emotional volatility isn't necessarily linked to genuine insecurity, but to an individual who thrives on the drama of emotional swings. In such an environment, it becomes nearly impossible to foster growth, trust, or mutual respect, which are the pillars of any healthy relationship. A high-value man, however, knows that emotional stability is essential for peace and growth. He is not looking for chaos or a partner who is constantly shifting between extremes. Instead, he values balance, calm, and clarity in his relationships. Just as a Stoic philosopher would say, "He who is brave is free." A man who can maintain his composure amidst the emotional turmoil of others remains free to live his life with purpose and direction. The high-value man understands that his emotional well-being is a reflection of his strength, and he is careful in choosing partners who align with this value. He does not allow himself to be dragged into someone else's emotional storm, for he knows that emotional stability is a non-negotiable part of his life. He remains calm, collected, and focused on what truly matters: his mission, his growth, and the people who bring peace into his life. In real life, this principle is vital. Relationships where one partner's emotional instability is allowed to persist can quickly become draining, leading to frustration, confusion, and resentment. High-value men understand that their time, energy, and emotional investment are valuable, and they seek partners who bring stability and emotional maturity to the table. The Stoic approach teaches us to focus on what we can control, our actions, reactions, and emotional responses. So, if you're in a relationship with someone who exhibits emotional instability, it may be time to evaluate whether this dynamic serves your well-being and long-term goals. Remember, emotional stability is the foundation on which great relationships are built, and it's something that every high-value man should demand, not as an act of control, but as a matter of self-respect. What are your thoughts on emotional stability in relationships? Have you encountered this kind of dynamic before? If you believe in emotional stability, drop a comment. I maintain my peace, no matter the storm. Like and subscribe for more wisdom. A man who truly values himself understands that he is the architect of his own peace and happiness. He knows that chaos, manipulation, and disrespect have no place in his life, and that the quality of his life is a direct reflection of the people he allows into it. A high-value man is deeply attuned to the red flags early in a relationship. He doesn't ignore them. Instead, he sets firm boundaries and ensures his peace and self-respect are never compromised. If a woman thrives on drama, seeks constant validation, refuses to take responsibility for her actions, manipulates emotions, lacks direction in life, or competes with his masculinity, she isn't a partner. She's simply a distraction, pulling him further away from his goals. True fulfillment in a relationship is based on mutual respect, shared values, and emotional security, not power struggles or mind games. The key to maintaining your own peace isn't about trying to change her, fix her, or prove your worth to her. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Your responsibility, as a high-value man, is to walk away from situations that threaten your inner peace and protect your energy. Real life is too short to waste on people who don't honor your worth. Remember, a high-value man doesn't tolerate disrespect. He elevates himself above it. I encourage you to reflect on the people in your life. Are they building you up or dragging you down? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's talk about what it means to set boundaries and protect your energy. Thank you so much for watching. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever encountered these traits in a relationship? What lessons did you learn? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this video valuable, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more insights on relationships, self-improvement, and living with strength and purpose. Remember, high-value men don't waste time on low-value behavior. Stay strong, stay grounded, and choose wisely. The right relationships will only add value to your life. See you in the next video.